The San Jose Sharks have officially become buyers by adding Kiefer Sherwood from the Vancouver Canucks.
You're Locked On Sharks, your daily podcast on the San Jose Sharks, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello, welcome to Locked On Sharks, the premier hockey podcast covering your favorite team in the Bay Area. My name is JD Young. I've been covering the Sharks since 2018, also the co-host of Locked On NHL. I want to thank you for making Locked On Sharks your first listen, proudly part of the Locked On Network. We cover your team every day, and the number one sports podcast network out there. If you want to be an everydayer, all you have to do is just follow along wherever you get podcasts, and of course, you can watch on YouTube as well. And we have breaking news as the San Jose Sharks have acquired Kiefer Sherwood from the Vancouver Canucks. So we're going to break down this trade. We're going to look at why the Sharks did this and why they did this now. What does Sherwood bring? And where does he potentially fit in the lineup? So before we get to all that, I do want to let you guys know that today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. The NFL playoffs are here, and FanDuel is officially in playoff mode. So visit FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of the NFL, and grab your profit boost pack every NFL playoff game day. So Mike Grier did the thing. He made a trade for a player that is a UFA to be in Kiefer Sherwood. So Kiefer Sherwood, the Sharks acquired for 2 second-round picks, their own picks in the 26 and 27 draft. So we know that the 26 probably going to be mid-round, I think it's fair to say, for San Jose, whether they make the playoffs or not. But still, it's projecting to be a mid-round pick. And then 2027, the hope is it's more of a mid to late round as the Sharks continue their growth and development as a franchise. The Sharks also sent Cole Clayton, the defenseman playing with the San Jose Barracuda, to the Vancouver Canucks, which should help out their Abbotsford Canucks team, which has been absolutely horrendous. In return, the San Jose Sharks get the services of one Kiefer Sherwood. So just with Sherwood right now, he is on IR and has been IR since the 10th. And they're not really expecting him to be back before the Olympic break, as the Sharks looking for, some added offense here with their forward group. But Sherwood, I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't play until after, right? And it's kind of like what we talked about with Will Smith. If the Will Smith or maybe even Kershaw, right, if they're getting close, do you just let them get the extra rest during the break? I think the Sherwood thing might be pretty similar here for a player who it sounds like it's something with his hand, but again, we don't know what the actual injury is, but don't expect Sherwood to be making his teal debut before the Olympic break. But so for the Sharks, right, you send 2 second-round picks for Kiefer Sherwood, and we had heard that the offer or the asking price was a first plus for Vancouver. So while I'm not happy with sending multiple second round picks for a player who's 30 and is a UFA here, I do think, like, you still, from San Jose's perspective, I do think you still leave a lot of assets where if you do want to go acquire a defenseman, you still have a lot of stuff, right? Between Edmonton's first round pick, you also have plenty of your own, prospects and such, where they didn't really kind of empty the war chest here to acquire Kiefer Sherwood, and what. So I do think that the Sharks are still very well set up to go do something else if they so choose to, or if they're able to do that. But I do think, though, for Sherwood, he is a player who will help the San Jose Sharks, and especially with, yes, I know defense is what they need, and he's not a defenseman. I'm sorry, but right, you look at how the Sharks have really struggled to find solid lines after the Celebrini line, right? Where we've had the Wennberg line play pretty solid, and then sometimes it falls off. And we've had the Misa line, what should be the Misa line going forward, right? We're still trying to kind of figure out what the Misa line will look like over the next couple weeks here. But I think what Kiefer Sherwood will bring is that Mike Grier style hockey of that, hard forechecking, tough to play against, plus added scoring. And Sherwood, who has scored 17 goals this year for a really bad Vancouver Canucks team, he will be able to, I think, solidify himself in the Sharks lineup and continue to bring that scoring and help to take some pressure off of Smith and Celebrini and add some more legitimate scoring on the potential second or third line for San Jose. And I think that is why you bring in Kiefer Sherwood, because you're kind of in this spot where it's not expected, right? As well as Chernyshov has played. Chernyshov played pretty well for the most part, but asking Chernyshov to continue to kind of produce at, nearly a point per game is not a realistic thing right now for San Jose. And you've had injuries with Kurashev, but even Kurashev has been up and down. Tyler Toffoli kind of doesn't really feel like the same player this year. You've had some bright moments from guys like Gaudette and such, but I think what Sherwood does is he comes in and helps to solidify that middle six for you and help to kind of push guys down where they maybe more deservedly belong in the lineup. So we'll figure out a little bit more where he's going to kind of fit in the lineup here and potential playing where I would probably slot him in. But I think that's why Mike Grier did this. And also to kind of like what we talked about with Alex Wennberg, the Sharks deserve this. Like, they've earned the right to go out and try to add pieces that will help them be a playoff team. And when Sherwood plays, the Sharks should be a better team. And right with Wennberg, it wasn't just Wennberg's play that earned him that contract extension. It was the play of the team around Wennberg, where if Wennberg was doing the same thing, but the Sharks were still really bad and losing, like, Wennberg gets traded, right? This is a message from Mike Grier that says we are done. This is a team that is ready to take the next step. A lot of it is thanks to one Celebrini, Macklin, who has really accelerated where this team is at. And again, I know the price is a little bit steep, and especially when you think about when we did the Sherwood episode, and we'll kind of go back and talk about what Sherwood brings here in a second. But there's a lot of teams who are looking to add Kiefer Sherwood because of, one, the style of play that he has, and two, the low cost on his contract. That's why the price was so high. And Vancouver had every right to ask for a first. And I think for Vancouver, getting 2 seconds is not a bad deal as well for them. So yes, the price is high, but there was a lot of demand, and there was a lot of teams looking to add a guy like Sherwood to come in and, play in their middle six and help boost up their middle six for their team. So, and like I said, you keep Beasted, you keep the Edmonton pick, you keep, a lot of your top end prospects. So again, if you want to start consolidating some of those for defensemen here soon, you are still within your right. So I think solid trade. I'm not over the moon about it. But I do think, like I said, I do think the Sharks definitely deserve, especially the way the team has played, they definitely deserve an addition here. And with how the rental market is already kind of thinning out, and I think the big question now will be, does Sherwood, how does he fit in, one? And two, does Sherwood get an extension at some point, are going to be kind of the next big questions for him. So we're going to look at what Kiefer Sherwood will bring to the Sharks. So we'll kind of dig into all the analytics and stuff. And then we'll talk about more where he fits into the lineup and where I kind of think putting him with Wennberg might be the answer for San Jose. So we'll discuss that here in just 1 second. The NFL playoffs are here, and FanDuel is officially in playoff mode. Every game day during the NFL playoffs, FanDuel is giving customers even more ways to get in on the action. because right now, every NFL playoff game day, FanDuel users get a profit boost pack waiting for them inside the app. Every game day, you'll see a pack uploaded with multiple profit boosts you can apply to the bets you like most. Open your profit boost pack first thing on game day and see what boosts you want to apply. The boosts give you more juice on the bets you already like instead of forcing you to bet something new. You make your picks, then apply your profit boosts to go after even bigger payouts while the playoffs get rolling. So visit FanDuel, the official sportsbook partner of the NFL, and grab your profit boost pack every NFL playoff game day. All right, do of course want to thank you for making Locked On Sharks your first listen, and thank you for making Locked On the #1 sports podcast network. If you haven't already, you got to check out the All Access Every Dayer Club. You get access to ad-free episodes of Locked On Sharks, compatible with Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and every other major podcast app, plus special All Access episodes of Locked On Sharks, as well as an invite to our very, very cool Discord server with other Sharks fans. So go to lockedonsharks.supercast or tap the link in the show notes to learn more. Okay, so what does Kiefer Sherwood actually do? What does he bring to the San Jose Sharks? So Kiefer Sherwood is 6 foot, 194-pound right-handed forward. He's got, like I said, 1 year left on his contract at $1.5 million AAV. This year he's played 44 games with the Vancouver Canucks where he has 17 goals, 6 assists with 109 shots on goal, playing 1732 average ice time. So he's gotten, big time minutes for the Vancouver Canucks this year. His Corsi force, so when he is on the ice, the Canucks were taking 52% of the shot attempts. The goals for 42%. So usually does a good job of driving pace, and which is what you want to see on a Canucks team that has struggled to do so, for especially without one Quinn Hughes. Sherwood is a former he went through the college USHL / college route, was not drafted, went to Youngstown in the USHL, then went to University of Miami in Ohio for 3 seasons before signing with the Anaheim organization after the 2017-2018 season, where he played a couple years with Anaheim, splitting his time between the Ducks and the Gulls. Then he went to Colorado, where he did the same thing, split his time between the Avs and the Eagles. Spent a year with the Preds organization, where he split his time between the Preds and the Milwaukee Admirals. And then 23-24 became a full-time NHLer with the Preds, where he's that year in 68 games, he had 10 goals, 17 assists, 27 points for the Preds. Signed with the Canucks, this deal that's 2 years at $1.5 million, where the last 2 years he has really seen that goal production increase. So 24-25 season, 78 games, he had 19 goals, 21 assists for 40 points. And then this year in 44 games, like I said, 17 goals, 6 assists for 23 points midway through the season here. So guys really, had to kind of earn it and has not been handed anything his way. So what Sherwood does and what he really brings is offense. Playing kind of second line minutes, 79th percentile player, 88th percentile offensive, 15th percentile defensively. So he is a player who's going to help drive offense. Your expected goals above replacement is very high. The defense, not so much. And he's going to help a power play that is in much need of some reinforcements here. So he has done a great job, especially this year, not even getting first line minutes, but doing a good job of helping to drive offense on the power play. So Sherwood drives offense, and the Sharks, they need more guys who can drive offense outside of Macklin, Celebrini. Even looking over the past 3 years, this is a guy who has been a pretty steady offensive driver here. So over the past 3 years, 64th percentile playing that kind of between third and second line minutes, 67th percentile offensively, 36th percentile defensively, and has really this year has really earned his power play time, but still an offensive driver for over the last in multiple stops between Nashville and Vancouver. So the hope is that he should be, especially as a guy who has bounced around over the couple of years, should be able to come in and seamlessly fit with San Jose here. So looking at his hockey stats card from Advanced Hockey Stats, Kiefer Sherwood is at 80% WAR, so wins above replacement. You've really seen the offense increase over the last couple of years, but the finishing is what does, and that is his thing, is he can finish. The Sharks just need more players who can finish for them. So again, he is on the power play, on the PK, has been doing a great job on those. Is a great job with the finishing at 83%, and like, that is what the Sharks need, is they need more players who can actually put the puck in the net. So if Sherwood would to sign an extension, and that is kind of the big hope, right? Or that is what you're thinking, especially when you are giving up two, solid assets and second round picks here. A potential Kiefer Sherwood extension, according to Evolving Hockey, they have him at a 3-year deal, right around 3.5, probably closer to $4 million if I had to guess for him. So I think if the Sharks can keep him in that 3 years, I think you're probably feeling a little bit better about this trade, especially if Kiefer Sherwood can come in and be a 20 to 25 goal scorer for you over that time. And I do think, especially with the way the Sharks are building, and you're having younger players come up, right, where you're having Misa and some of these other guys going to start to kind of take on bigger roles. I think Sherwood is that kind of insulation player where you should expect pretty steady production from him over the next couple seasons. Maybe not the pace that he's on at 30 plus goals this year that he was on with Vancouver, but I think Sherwood can and should be a 20 to 25 goal scorer for you if the Sharks choose to sign him to an extension. And I think that'll be the next big question, is how does he fit in with the Sharks team over the next couple months here, and then how does he also, and one, does he like it here, I guess, and playing with Macklin, Celebrini, and Will Smith, and those should help, you would think. But as San Jose, right, they're trying to kind of thread this needle of moving out some pieces and getting some pieces in. Sherwood could be a guy who kind of fits in that same Wennberg timeline of, okay, we got you here for the next couple seasons. Can you be a playing second or third line minutes potentially now, and eventually down to third line minutes? Can you continually be a producer for us and kind of help to be a player who can give us a little bit of juice down in the middle of our lineup here? So we're going to talk about where he fits in the lineup and why I do think the Wennberg, taking Toffoli's spot on the Wennberg line might be the best opportunity for him and for San Jose to succeed. So we're going to break that down here in just 1 second. If you ever hired someone who looked good on paper but wasn't the right fit, you know how important that is. When you want candidates to truly match what you're looking for, you need to trust Indeed's sponsored jobs. Hiring, Indeed is all you need. Stop struggling to get your job post seen on other sites. Indeed sponsored jobs put your posts at the top of the page and help you reach the right candidates faster. Instead of struggling to get your job post seen, Indeed sponsored jobs helps your listing stand out and reach quality candidates faster. Sponsored jobs boost your posts to the people who are the best match for your role, and that makes a real difference. So spend more time interviewing candidates who check all your boxes with less stress, less time, and more results using Indeed sponsored jobs. Listeners of the show get a $75 sponsored job credit to help give your job the premium placement it deserves at Indeed.com/lockedon. Just go to Indeed.com/lockedon right now and support the show by saying you heard about Indeed on this podcast. Terms and conditions apply. Hiring, do it the right way with Indeed. All right. Do, of course, want to thank you for making Locked On Sharks your first listen. And if you never miss an episode, the Everydayer Club is built for you. Get Locked On Sharks ad-free, plus members-only Discord access and more. Head over to lockedonsharks.supercast to join the club. All right, so Sherwood, where does he eventually fit? I do think the Sharks are still going to have to navigate some roster crunch here. And the good thing, again, is we don't have to kind of decide this right now because Sherwood not expected to really be back in the mix before the Olympic break. So assuming you have Kershaw back, the Sharks, again, are going to have to face a roster crunch with their forward group, right? We have Regenda, you have Chernyshov, you have a lot of these, players who have played pretty well, but you're going to have to kind of make some decisions here. But I do think where I would put Kiefer Sherwood first is I would put him with Alex Wennberg. So I would put him with William Eklund, Alex Wennberg, and Kiefer Sherwood on that second line. And especially with the way that Sherwood, and he is a great forechecker, not the biggest guy, but he plays much bigger than he actually is. I would put him with those two guys, and with Wennberg and Eklund's ability to protect the puck and create opportunities. I think Sherwood goes in for F1, your main forechecker, gets the puck, gets it to Eklund and Wennberg, who can help create opportunities, and then Sherwood kind of goes to the net and crashes the net type of player. So that's what I would do. I think that's where Sherwood potentially fits in. Then you can maybe kick down to Foley, and you would have a Chernyshov / either Chernyshov, Regenda, Misa to Foley on the second line, or Graf. And then the Sharks are going to run into some issues here, especially with when Kershaw comes back, because you're going to have to put, all right, if somebody up there with Celebrini and Smith, assuming it's Graf or Kershaw, if that second line there, and then you're going to have to, right, we might have to see Chernyshov go back to the AHL here to play, because they just are running out of space, and especially as Chernyshov has played well, but right, he hasn't really kind of produced at the same rate here. So maybe for San Jose, they think that they can put some more veteran guys around Misa to help kind of boost him up right now until he's ready to drive a line a little bit more. That might be the answer for them. So maybe having a Graf, Misa to Foley line, maybe having a Regenda, Misa to Foley, or a Kershaw, Misa to Foley. So it's going to be really interesting to see where and how the Sharks navigate this. The good news is, again, they have a little bit of time with Sherwood, not expected to really kind of be back in the mix until after the Olympic break here. But I do think that's one way that they really could look at, like, where does Sherwood kind of fit here, is trying to figure out, they're going to have to make some moves here for San Jose to get Sherwood in here full time. You're starting to run out of forward, especially with the fourth line, right? Yes, Goodrow, it would be a player that I would be looking to get out of, but again, like we know Warsofsky, like, he likes that fourth line, that identity line. So I'm just going to assume that fourth line is going to stay together right now with Ostapchuk and then Reeves, Gaudette kind of flipping in and out for each other. But I do think I'm not going to touch the fourth line, because it's until we see Ryan Warsofsky touches the fourth line in any meaningful way, it's just not worth speculating them touching the fourth line there. So, but yeah, I'm excited to see what Sherwood does. I'm excited to see what Mike Grier does next, right? As Sharks have clearly earned the B buyers here. Does Grier look to kind of tap into the prospects here to try to go add an impactful defenseman? And then does he still sell on some of his, UFA. He's here to try to recoup some value. I think that's going to be kind of the next big question for Mike Grier, right? Because if you, you trade 2 second-round picks for Kiefer Sherwood, but if you're able to get a second-round pick back for, say, like a Mario Ferraro, for example, that kind of helps to soften the blow of acquiring Kiefer Sherwood, even if you don't sign him to an extension. So I am really interested to see what Grier's next steps are here. So it'll be fun. It's going to be fun. It's to be an actual somewhat buyer, not like a massive buyer, but it's going to be fun to actually be a buyer in a actually in it at the trade deadline this year. So that's gonna be it for me right now. There'll be a preview for the Panthers game that'll be going up here in a couple of minutes as well. So make sure you guys follow along for that. Follow the show on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and on TikTok at Locked On Sharks. Follow me on Twitter and Blue Sky at My Fry Hole. Until later, bye, friends.